questions over last night's homework?
No, ma'am.
24.
Hey,
Okay. Right now, put them in a square root format. So this is square root of 18 times the square root of 98. 18 is going to be 9 times 2. 98 is 49 times 2. What's the square root of 9? What's the square root of 49? So this gives you 21 times the square root of 4. What's the square root of 4? 21 times 2 is 42.
Children, I have an easier way to do this.
Now, number 21. Write those radicals. 4th root of 8 times the 4th root of 32. Marry them. The 4th root of 8 times 32. No, you don't. What are the factors of 8 that are perfect squares? Well, I know 8 is a perfect cube because what number multiplies by itself 3 times is 8? 2. What's 32? 8 and 4. Which gives me 2 cubed times 2 cubed times 2 squared. So how many 2's do I have in there? I have a total of 8 2's, right? Can I write that as power over root? Or 8 divided by 4 gives me 2 squared. And how much is left? What is 2 squared? 4. There's lots of ways to do that problem. That's not the only way. Just like theory. There's lots of ways to kill a deer legally.
Not really.
Sure there are.
There's one way.
The car works. It does. It's lead.
You said not
You're
to.
gonna do.
You don't have to do it rapidly.
I don't get in jail because I kill a deer with my car.
But then you cause damage to your car.
Are we all good?
You're looking at me happy there. You're happy.
Are we all good over section 6-4, worksheet 1? Here we go, worksheet 2.
I think they need to separate these two.
I was happy now, but I think she hit me in the face a few times and threw myself on the wall.
She has one.
Because she's embarrassed.
And I said, yeah, I thought I should tell you.
Can we turn this in, or can you like look at it? Like, you know,
Here we go, number 2. It says to simplify.
nobody else prepared that.
Because they had it done whenever I graded it.
Okay.
Now, you need to remember when you add, subtract, and multiply your exponents. What do I do in this case? You're going to multiply 1/5 and 5 together, and that's going to give you what? 5's cancel out, gives you a 1 to give you just simply 32. If your brain doesn't recognize that, and your brain says, well, 1/5 means it's the 5th root, then write it as the 5th root of 32 raised to the 5th power. What happens to the 5 and the 5th root? They cancel out and it's still 32. Do I care how your brain processes that? No, as long as it processes it. Number 8. How many bases do you see up there?
1,
2,
I
3.
see 3 bases. 2 of them are the same, right? So since I see 3 bases with 2 of them being the same, what do I do with those 2 bases with their exponents? Add them because they're attached by multiplication. So I put a 1 on there for the missing exponent. I'm going to have 2y to the half plus 1 to give me 2y and 1.5. What's 1.5? An improper fraction.
3 seconds.
3 over 2. How many of you like that fraction exponent where the numerator is bigger than the denominator? Nobody. So let's put it in radical form. So how do I what would that radical form? The square root of the 2 is out here of y cubed. Now, because its exponent's what? What's the exponent on the 2? A 1. So you leave it alone. It stays just hanging out there. Yes, attached by multiplication. Right? Now, is this done? No. Why is this not done? Because I have 3 y's inside of a square root symbol. So that square root is going to turn into be the square root of y squared times y. Because I need a number smaller than 3 divided by 2. Number smaller than 3 divided by 2 is 2. Why do I have y at the first in there? Because I need a total of how many y's? 3 y's. Very good. What is the square root of y squared? That comes out as a y, so I have 2y times the square root of y, and I'm done. I hope we're writing down my work with your problem, not just the answer. You need to write the word how on your paper. That doesn't work for me.
18 more days?
Number 12. Okay. I have 2/3, right? I have 2 in the numerator. The 2 indicates what? What's the 2 indicate? A power. What's the 3 indicate? A root. Now, if you have a power, what does that do to your number? Does it make it smaller or larger? Larger. If I have a root, does it make it smaller or larger? Smaller. Does our brain work in smaller numbers better or larger numbers better? Smaller numbers. So would you rather take the root of a number first, or would you rather raise it to a power first? The root would make it much easier because then you're dealing with smaller numbers, correct? So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to tear this thing apart, and we're going to make this 27/8 raised to the 1/3 times 2. You know what I did is I pulled out my power, didn't I? I pulled out my power. And now I'm going to write that 1/3 to be a radical. So that's the cube root of 27 to the first over the cube root of 8 to the first, all squared. Does everybody understand what I just did? I separated the 2 with the 1/3. I pulled out the power, made that a 1/3 root. And now what am I going to do? So now, what's the cube root of 27?
3.
3. What's the cube root of 8? And now I'm going to do what with that whole thing? Square it. So what is 3 squared? What is 2 squared? To give you 9/4 is your answer.
What happens? Why is it negative?
There's no negative.
Yeah.
That's a multiplication. You good?
Oh.
Why wouldn't you take the 1/3 times 2 first?
It was 2/3 to begin with. I pulled the power out of it so that I would take the root to make the number smaller. Because our head feels better smaller than larger. Okay, 14.
Sorry. Love you, Dom. There you go.
What do I do here? What do I do?
What do you tell us to do?
There are no exponents on the outside, are there? So my saying from section 6.1 concept like was numbers with numbers, letters with letters. I'm going to rearrange this. 3 times 4 times x to the 1/2 times x to the 2/3. What's 3 times 4? 12. And now what do I do with my exponents? Add them. So that is going to give you x to the 1/2 plus 2/3. And many of you are going to grab your calculator, but we're going to use our brains. And we're going to add 1/2 plus 2/3. What's my common denominator? 6. So what did I multiply 2 by to get 6? What did you do the bottom? The top, so that's 3. What did I multiply 3 by to get 6? 3 times 2 gives you 4 to give you 7, 6. So I'm going to have 12 x to the 7 over 6 power.
How do you think you got the 7, 6, yeah? Sounds the right.
3 plus 4 is 7.
No, what did you do to get?
I got a common denominator. What did I multiply 2 by to get 6? 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4.
Okay.
Okay? Now, is that pretty?
No.
No. So put it in radical form. So that's the 6th root of x to the 7. Am I done? Why am I not done? How can I tell I'm not done?
For 7x.
I have 7 x's in a 6th root, which means my power is larger than my index, correct? So I break this down. I need to have a number smaller than 7 divisible by 6. So what is that? That's going to be 6. I'm going to use 12 times the 6th root of x to the 6 times x. So what is the 6th root of x to the 6? So I have 12x times the 6th root of x. I'm saying numbers, letters, and letters. So 12 divided by 4, y to the 1/3 over y to the 1/2. What's 12 divided by 4?
3.
3. Now what do I do with my exponents here? Why am I subtracting? Because I'm dividing. So I have 1/3 minus 1/2. So I come over here, 1/3 minus 1/2. What's my common denominator? 6. So what are my numerators going to turn into? 2, 6 minus 3, 6 to give me negative 1, 6. So I'm going to have 3y to the negative 1, 6. Well, what looks off on that?
The negative.
The negatives. What do I do?
Multiply.
Put it over 1. 1 goes where? The 3 stays on top. And then the y to the 1, 6 goes to the bottom and it becomes positive. Do y'all see that? Yes or no? Do I like that 1, 6 power? How do I write it? The 6th root of y. Do I like that? Why? Because there's a radical on the bottom. I need to rationalize that. So I need to rationalize it because I need to eliminate that radical. So how do I eliminate it? I need to have a total of 6y underneath that radical. I have currently 1. So how many more do I need? 5 more. So I multiply by the 6th root of y to the 5th over the 6th root of y to the 5th. That's y. So that's going to give me 3 to the 6th root of y to the 5th over, how many y's do I have down there? 6. And now what's the 6th root of y to the 6th? That gives me 3 times the 6th root of y to the 5th over y.
Oh.
18 has a typo. Please fix the typo. It says b minus 1/2. That's actually supposed to be b to the negative 1/2.
You're supposed to fix that on a paper also.
Where else would you fix it? I was just asking. Someplace else I don't know about?
I wish, not here.
You round up that number 18 is bad.
Good.
Okay, what do I do here? Distribute the negative 1, 6. So if I do that, I have a to the 2 times negative 6 is negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. A negative times a negative is a half of 6 is 3. Am I done? What's ugly? Put it over 1, goes where? B cubed stays, a to the fourth goes to the bottom. You got it? 26. Do I have any powers in outside of parentheses? I don't even have any parentheses, do I? So what should I do? Numbers with numbers, letters with letters. Is that already happening? Good, right? So what do I do with my x's, Logan? What do I do with my x's, Logan? What do I do?
Something with them, we deal with something else.
Subtract your exponents. If I have to tell you again, you'll see it. If I get you again, you'll see it.
I can fall asleep.
I'd like to see it. It would be humorous to watch you fall over from exhaustion.
I'll get you.
Okay,
Six other common things.
1/2 minus 1/3 gives me a 6 here, and a 6 here, so that's going to give me 3 6 minus 2 6, give me 1 6. Yes? No?
Yes.
What did I multiply 2 by? A 3. 3 times 1 is 3. What did I multiply 2 by? A 3 by? 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. So that's x to the 1 6 times 2/3 minus 1/2. I need a common denominator of 6. What did I multiply 3 by?
2,
Times
4,
2 is 4. What did I multiply 2 by?
Right.
3. 3 times 1 is 3. So give me 1 6 again. How do I write that in radical form? The 6th root of x times the 6th root of y. So since they're the same index, I can write them as 1.
Huh.
Everybody do the first step. I want to see what everybody does. Okay, your first step should be done. I'm going to put on my missing exponents to give me 12 to the 1/2, x to the 4th, 75 to the 1/2, y to the 5th. How many of you got that? How many of you forgot to put it the 1/2 to the 12 to the 75?
Truly me.
Cannot forget that. Okay, that's just like a problem on your test. Many of you didn't do it then, and I'm still checking to see if you're doing it now, and you're not. So be very careful. Now, the 1/2 power would indicate what? The square root of 12 over the square root of 75 times x to the 4th over y to the 5th. Factors of 12 that are perfect squares. 4 and 3. Square root of 4 times the square root of 3. Factors of 75 that are perfect squares. Square root of 25 times the square root of 3. All over this, we're all times that junk. What happens to your square root of 3? And what is the square root of 4? What is the square root of 25? To give you 2x to the 4th over 5y to the 5th.
What creatures are they?
24. This also has a typo. There should be no 12 at the end of it.
So it's good to do that on the paper also?
He's gonna be at a football game. Right.
Why is there?
That's how it will look like, yeah. Okay, the rest of the period is yours to work on this.